Run it. I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my.
What's the Deal podcast?
Turn it up.
Yeah.
Welcome, y'all. Welcome back to the What's the Deal podcast. Today we got a special guest, a very special guest, all the way from Memphis, Tennessee, y'all, with over 530 regular season games, 20 playoff games and counting, over 10 seasons as an NBA official. Also served 9 years in the NCAA. You can find him at your best NBA playoff games and more info about him at NBRA.net. One of the guardians of the game, Memphis, Tennessee native from Purdue University, better known as Gucci Guwap, number 60, Mr. James Williams.
Welcome.
You dig.
Y'all, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, the resemblance is uncanny.
Yes.
Gucci, you don't love me.
Yeah.
Just like I'm super real.
I
That's
want to
crazy.
thank you. I want to thank you for taking your time and coming out on What's the Deal, man, and having a sit down with us, man. We really appreciate that, man, for real. But on What's the Deal, we like to rock out on here, man. Yeah, man. Welcome, y'all. We back on the show, man. And look, the NFL done kicked off last night, y'all. I'm excited. Roger Odell, man, we want to say this on the show today. You're doing a fantastic job now that Trump out of office. It ain't no confusion with the players and the fans. The NFL is officially back. And it went down last night with the Chicago Bears, San Francisco 49ers game. I know y'all seen that.
Yeah.
They slid into a W in that
All that
rain last night, man.
They got it cracking. That's how you supposed to play football.
Yes.
In the rain. That's how you supposed to play.
That's right.
I didn't think they was gonna do that though.
Yeah.
I did not think. I mean, I love my city and I love our teams, but I didn't think they was gonna do that though. They came out swinging. Shout out to the Bears.
You checked the Bears out last night, James?
Absolutely, yeah. We'll take the W.
Yeah, it was a hell of a game, man. Justin Fields showed up.
Justin Fields, exactly.
He showed up.
So you're a Bears fan?
I am a Bears fan.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's
That's
up,
what's
man.
happening.
And the
right
Packers
there.
lost too, so I mean, come on.
Oh, so that's who
Yeah, the Packers lost. That's how, and it was crazy because I bet against the Bears and with the Packers. And
Wow.
See, that's hating.
How about them Cowboys?
You know we
How about
can't do
them
that.
Cowboys last night too, y'all?
I
they
didn't even
got
watch
smoked.
that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was still a good game. They could have still won the game though.
19-3.
Man, they
They
weren't
coulda
doing
still
nothing.
won. They could have won the game. I'm not giving up on my Cowboys, y'all. Cowboys for life, y'all know that, man.
well, Cowboys
I'm a bear
fans.
about hard. Cowboys for life.
But that's how Cowboys fans, they gon'
Yeah, man.
they y'all die hard, man.
Yeah, they are die hard.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
19-3.
Struggling with what happened yesterday.
Too much Tom Brady.
And you
That's
ain't
why I'm
got
wearing
that.
this color. You know what I'm saying? That's who I rock with. I rock with Tom Brady.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'm going with the winners, man.
Tom Brady, the GOAT, boo.
Nah, he the GOAT.
He definitely the GOAT.
He the GOAT.
Yeah.
He the
But you
GOAT.
know what? They went
Doing
three
that at
quarters.
45?
Yeah.
They went 3 quarters last night without even scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, that ain't like him.
5 field goals in
Yeah.
3 quarters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did.
That ain't like him right there.
You
But
know.
it's the beginning, though. You know, first
Yeah,
game.
they'll pick it up.
That's why I don't want to get too high off the Bears yet. Because,
Yeah.
you know.
We also had a good Saturday too with Alabama game, man. With
Yeah.
Bryce Young, he did the big play in the fourth quarter. They came back and won 19-20.
Shout out to Heisman.
Yeah. Shout out to Heisman Award winner,
Trophy
man.
winner. That's what's
and
up.
shout out Georgia Bulldogs over there. They doing their thing this year too, man. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
man.
exciting.
I fucks with Georgia.
It's gonna be exciting in college football this year. But we gonna get right off into it, man. With
Hey, Auburn got a kid named Tank Bigsby.
yeah.
He's already on the cusp of breaking Bo Jackson right here, Jr.
He a running back?
Running back, number 4.
And what's his name? Tank?
Check him out, Tank.
Oh, okay. Wow. He was destined
Tank
to be a running
Bigsby.
back.
Destin. It's funny, one of my good friends, shout out my man Jamal Zanders. I just seen him in Atlanta. And he coached the kid in high school and, helped keep him on the right path and everything.
So he from Atlanta?
He from Atlanta.
And he ended up at Auburn?
And he ended up at Auburn.
Oh, wow.
You know Georgia
what's
wanted
up,
him.
what's up with UGA? What's up
And
with
he
them
went to
Bulldogs?
Auburn. He went up the street.
Okay.
But check him out, man. Tank Bigsby, man.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Yeah.
Hey
Running
man,
back.
so we got a special guest on the show today. Like I said, man, we really appreciate you coming down here on What's the Deal, sitting down and talking to us today.
Appreciate you.
'Cause,
No doubt.
An NBA referee is like the guardian of the game. They got to control the flow of everything. They pay attention to everything that goes on and off the court. But I always want to know, do you pay attention to the players' moves when they're having a great game or when they down, or do you notice any ups and downs with certain players?
You definitely have to know what's going on as far as the flow of the game and who's got momentum and things like that. I think what most fans don't understand is that referees are not watching the ball all the time. You're only watching the ball maybe 25% of the time when you're on the floor. So you have so many different areas you're responsible for. So that's a big part of what we're doing. We're refereeing what we call our areas of responsibilities, primary. And so sometimes that means on ball, but not. But you can definitely tell when somebody is, getting off, when they feeling it. It's like, wow, okay. I think I forget the game, but it was Dallas and Phoenix in the playoffs, and Luka had like 20-something 5, I think, in the first quarter. And I was like, wow, he's not missing. You can feel that, you can sense that for sure when you're out there, and the energy that the fans bring to the game when somebody is having a game like that. But 82 games is a long season, so you can definitely tell when somebody's off too, and the legs aren't there, the shot's not falling. That's just part of being human.
Wow, that's what made you want to be a referee?
Well, I didn't want to be a referee. That's not something people say.
That's what I was
going
going to ask too.
Yeah,
Wow.
nobody
Did
says
you
they
wanna
want to be
be?
a referee. No, not at all.
I heard that you started off in like the law field. You got a bachelor's.
I went to Purdue and got my bachelor's degree in pre-law, and then I was going to go to law school. But I started refereeing when I was at Purdue, so I kind of got a bug for it while I was there. And the only reason why I started is because I needed money. I was broke. I like a typical college student, had no money, and I had nobody to fall back on. And my parents didn't have money like that to send me, so I needed a job. And there was a call out for referees for intramurals. I was like, well, that can't be hard. I'll do that. So I signed up. It was my first time ever doing it.
Wow.
Never did it before. I had no idea what I was doing. And I guess depending on who you ask now, I still don't know what I'm doing. But
We're glad that you came, though, because you recognize as one of the best.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
You look like you could have been a cop, though. You look like you
I got
look
that
like
military.
Yeah, you got
like,
that look to you.
Yeah, but no,
walk
thank you.
in,
But you know what? Like, I think that's how part of it. I mean, you are the guardians. You are like the cop out there on the beat.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of I don't want to say persona, but that's kind of what we're out there doing. But you want to be the cop that people can, talk to, and it's not like somebody you like constantly beat over the head because you got the authority.
Right.
Yeah. Those are not good cops, and usually they're not good referees either. So, just somebody that's approachable and understanding it's a very emotional game. I mean, at the NBA level, that 94-by-50 is, that's some of the most competitive basketball in the world. And those guys, they want to win. Yeah. And you don't get to the NBA, whether you're a referee or a player, without being super competitive. So you just kind of take all that in and know that it's just the heat of the moment a lot of times, and you got to let things pass by and kind of in one ear and out the other. Yeah.
How do you keep your composure with the players and the coaches if you had a tough assignment the night before? You got to go right back to a new city the next day, do it all over again. It got to be hard on the referees just as it is on the players and the coaches.
Yeah, man. I mean, referees, we, first of all, we don't fly charter. So we get up the next day and we are on a commercial flight and we're flying during the winter. So, you add that into the mix. So it can be a lot of delays, cancellations, trying to get to your next city. But, it's just like a player, though. You have to, when you have a bad night as a referee, people don't think referees can have bad nights, but, we miss calls. We're human. But you have to just move on to the next play or the next game. You can't dwell on it. You have to do your film work, find out what you screwed up, why you screwed it up, and then hopefully you grow from that and you learn, and then you don't make that mistake as often going forward. Yeah. And then you get better and better and better. But I'm going into my 13th season, and I've never refereed a perfect game in my life. Yeah. It's just not humanly possible. Yeah. So you just try to have a real short memory in this gig, man. You mess something up, or you had a bad night. All right, the next day it's a whole new day.
So referees watch film as well. You know how the athletes
absolutely.
watch. I had no idea. I thought you just good at that shit. I thought you were just good at being a referee. You don't have to practice.
Well, we appreciate that, but we definitely, especially at the NBA level. I can't speak for what they do in high school and college, but you're not going to make it to the NBA unless you watch film, just to get in the door. And you're not going to stay in that room unless you are constantly watching film. So a typical NBA referee works about 4 games a week. And, a game's about 2 hours and 15, 20 minutes. You're probably watching about 15 to 20 hours of tape a week. Yeah, because it's a lot, but we're no different than the players. We're trying to get our games to a high level, and in order to do that, you have to watch film.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I don't know a lot about sports, but I do want to get this question out. So are you refereeing even when you aren't refereeing? Like if you at home, this is your off game, and you at home and you watching the game. Are you calling this man's shots? Are you seeing the bad? Are you seeing the bad calls that the other ref made?
Yep,
You
yeah.
do. I can believe it.
Yeah,
you can't turn it off. Yeah.
There's no way you can watch a game now as a fan once you've been doing it for as long as I've been doing it. You watch it as a referee, and it's just inside of you. That's the way you approach it. But yeah, going to a sports bar or watching a game, it's like, oh yeah, that was a bad call.
Yeah, see.
It's part of it.
How do reffing change or adjust like when like the game kind of changes now? Like it's more analytical, a lot more 3-pointers,
Right.
things like that, pick and rolls, they switch everything. How do y'all adjust when the game adjusts?
Yeah, man. The game is always evolving, like you said, right?
Yeah.
Coaches and players are always looking for that edge. They are always looking for an edge, and they always evolve faster than we do. So usually the officials, we have to kind of catch up to what they're doing, like a step back. Nobody did a step back before,
Right.
And then now that comes into the game, and now we have to learn how to officiate.
That's why they got to
that.
watch film, too.
Yeah. So you have to figure out, okay, I have to see this enough on film to know the cadence of it.
Right. It's just a travel.
It's
It's
correct.
just- and it's
correct.
getting taught now.
It is being
You know
taught.
what I'm saying?
You see 13-year-olds out there
doing
doing
the
step
Euro.
backs.
Yeah, you
right?
see it, right? Yeah.
You see kids on fast breaks running to the corners because
Yeah.
they're looking for a
They're
three.
looking for a
not
three.
going. They're not going to the
nowhere
rim.
to the
Yeah.
rim.
So as far as what it's changed, it's a lot of 3-pointers, as you mentioned. So it's just a lot of refereeing jump shooters up and down. That's a huge thing. When I was growing up and watching the Bulls in the 80s and 90s, it was all a lot of post play. So the game is definitely different. It's a lot faster than it was in the 80s and 90s. Teams have a lot of possessions, which means there's a lot for us to referee. Now they
Either you shoot threes or you dunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those that's where the analytics
That's the
comes in.
analytics.
What's high percentage? The short corner threes.
Yeah.
Layups, dunks, things like that. But the mid range is gone for the most part. But then you see people like DeMar.
DeMar bringing it back. Shout out DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
And
And shout out Lethal Shooter.
Yeah.
Lethal Shooter, he bringing
Kawhi
it back.
Leonard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kawhi
That was
Leonard,
mid-range.
Good
mid-range
people.
killers.
Yeah,
It's
good people.
Why?
Carmelo.
Carmelo.
All
Yeah.
of those guys are kind of like old school in the sense of nobody really shoots the mid range anymore, but it's
Right.
still highly effective.
And it's very effective. right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
sure.
You had an opportunity to work with David Stern and Adam Silver. Is there any difference between those two guys? How they commissioning the NBA?
That's a good question. Well, I came in on the tail end of David, so I think when David retired in 2014, I was in my 4th season. So I've had 9 years under Commissioner Silver.
Doing a fantastic job.
Yeah,
by the way.
so he's a very good man, very cerebral. University of Chicago law, very smart. And he's a players commissioner in the sense that he listens to, what are the players asking for? What do they want? I think it was he and Chris Paul who came together to change the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Because it had become just a circus. It wasn't really an exciting game. So then they came together to make it more competitive. And now the last couple of All-Star games have been, really exciting. We did this.
They picking it up slowly but surely.
Yeah,
Exactly. But Silver is, he does his job. He's very good at it.
Yeah.
But he's got the respect, I think, of players, coaches, referees. People understand he has a job to do. But at the same time, he's definitely an approachable guy, down to earth. He listens. He really does listen, and tries to get input from all different types of people because we all have different perspectives on things. And everybody's got an opinion about how it should work, right? Or how the league should work. But yeah, he takes all of that information in, and I think he uses that when he makes decisions.
Okay. It's been plenty of reports about the league is close to implementing a mid-season tournament. And if so, a player can really just pretty much just basically tank the second half because they'll still be able to get into the tournament if this is implemented. It's been talks about it. I don't know if it's actual facts or anything like that. Have you heard anything about it?
I mean, from what listen, I hear from what everybody else hears, like reading something on ESPN or somebody putting it out there. But I believe it's pretty much a done deal that it'll be maybe next year they'll start this in-season tournament. We don't have any particulars about how that will work, but I know the commissioner's a big fan of soccer over in Europe.
Yeah.
And they have, I mean, that's part of their setup, apparently.
Yeah.
But it generates interest in the league, and that's what that's his job, generate interest in the league, right? So, the NBA is a long season. We start beginning of October, and it goes through the finals in June. That's a long season. So I think the impetus of that is just to try to get people excited about the games early on, right? When you're going up against a juggernaut like the NFL. I think it's just a way to get fans more engaged, teams just constantly making sure they're playing for something even that early. So, there was a lot of naysayers about the play-in tournament, but that's shown to be very popular and effective. It's actually been pretty neat. And you got those teams now that are fighting for positions that in the past they would have been out. So, that if you knew in early, mid-March your season was over, you had no way to catch the 8th seed. Now that's different.
Yeah.
And so that's added a lot of intrigue towards the end of the season, and that's always a good thing for the league.
I think so too. I agree. I like that they implement that.
Yeah.
Because it gives everybody a shot.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It ain't so, one-sided. For a long time, you just knew it was going to be the Cavs and Golden State for a long time, And now that they changed that. And I know another thing going to play, I could be wrong because I'm not in it, but I try to play. I'm a big sports fan, especially basketball. But I know the TV deals is they getting hell of a lot of money, so they got to make it interesting. You know what I'm saying? So they say so. I know, they got to make it interesting too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you saw the Big Ten just got $7 billion or something.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's amazing.
The money is insane.
That's why it's been talks about expansion also with the NBA, also with Las Vegas and with Seattle coming back.
To bring Seattle
That'll
back.
be dope. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but it's been plenty talks about the expansion with Las Vegas. It's going to be a couple preseason games out there this year.
Yeah. I think LeBron going to buy that Las Vegas team.
Yeah, I hope so.
I believe
the Los
so.
Angeles Aces or something, I believe.
He can afford it.
Yeah, I believe he going to do that.
He can afford
You feel
it.
me?
That's a new team?
Yeah.
No,
it's just been talks about expansion.
Oh,
That they wanna
okay.
It's
expand the league to
expansion,
it,
because it's a lot of money out here with the TV deals, and David Stern left a good path out for Adam Silver, and he took great control over the league, taking it all over the world.
Yeah.
And David Stern started that, so. But you got to pay these guys and also the referees.
And it's different markets. When you look at Seattle, from a grassroots standpoint, it's a lot of ballers out of Seattle.
Yeah, a lot of
It's
ballers.
a lot of ballers.
Yeah.
So when you look at, some people don't want to go to small market places like Charlotte Hornets, like a guy that's been playing in New York, Oklahoma City. Like, that ain't the most, a person I don't really want to.
But they got great fans. They got
great fans. So I know that's why they got to expand to these different cities. Somebody go to Vegas.
That's always been a part of the NBA thing, right? People always we call that the voodoo, they want big markets to win. They don't want small markets to win. They want people to watch. None of that ever plays a role in anything that, what we do in the games. But that's just how fans think.
Fans think so.
And listen, Oklahoma City was in the finals.
They were,
when Durant and Russell and James were there.
Yeah.
I think they lost to the Heat that year, but I mean, it's just small markets make it. It's all about
Yeah.
the product
Milwaukee.
on the floor. If the product's tantalizing, it's good basketball. People go watch.
Yeah, and a good GM like that.
I'm going to just get right into
GM
it,
was
man.
good.
It's the NBA planning the strike that's coming up. NBA season. We want to know as fans.
Yeah, no strike, man. We back to work. We actually just agreed to a deal yesterday. So we got a 7-year deal that's been wrapped
There
up.
y'all go.
Oh,
Congratulations.
Congratulations
Give him a hand
on
clap,
that.
man. He needs some
Out in the
applause for
sports
that,
world.
Red.
No strike, y'all. No
Come on,
strike.
Red.
No strike.
No strike coming up, man. We is very excited about this upcoming NBA season.
Yes, sir.
I have a question I wanted to ask, because y'all making me sleepy.
Talk about these
all
sports.
of this, all of these sports. So I'm sitting here and I'm looking at you, and you really do favor rapper Gucci Mane, like a lot.
It's dirty.
So it was that. So if there was a basketball player that pointed out Ja Morant, he pointed it out, right? How has your life changed? Like, are you even more noticeable now? Do everybody know who you is? Do they even call you by your real name?
No,
Because when they
they
told me
don't.
today, they're like, T, come in. We're interviewing NBA Gucci. And I'm like, what fucking rapper is this? I don't even know this dude. I get here, and they're like, he's the ref for the NBA. I'm like, oh, shit, y'all had me Googling a rapper. NBA Gucci. So how has your life changed, or how has your image changed, or your notoriety changed since
Well, it's definitely
being given the
changed.
nickname?
Yeah, referees always want to stay in the background. That's just what we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not the show. You know,
Right.
we're just out there trying to run the game and do our jobs, and it's about the players on the floor. But this is going viral so much and so often, and so now, you know, like everybody who sees me, they're like, "Oh, you the Gucci Mane ref?" Like, yeah,
That's a
me.
bullshit call,
Yeah,
Gucci.
Yeah, right.
That's funny.
But
I know that'd
none
be
of-
cool with the players,
So,
though.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I would say 80, at least 80% of the players call me Gucci.
Yeah.
Really?
calls
Nobody
me
calls you
James.
your name?
Yeah, even when I hear James, it feels kind of weird
Weird.
now because it's like, oh yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I forgot my own damn name.
Yeah. Shout out Ja Morant, man.
Yeah, shout out
Ja
Ja.
Morant,
Yeah,
man. That
Ja,
was
Ja
major.
posted that, and I was like, okay, he in trouble.
I know your
I
phone.
gotta
Deal
get
with
on it,
him,
right?
man.
I know your
Blew
phone went up.
Yeah, man, blew up with all kind of
That's
texts,
funny.
and I was like, oh yeah.
So you've been refereeing a long time. Like, what's the amount of years? How many years?
13 in the NBA. I'm going into my 13th season.
That's
And
phenomenal.
I started just like I said in intramurals and Purdue, and that was in '97. So
Oh, okay. In '97, yeah.
about
I was
20.
nappy headed and funny looking in '97. Wasn't even thinking about a career. So with you being in the NBA, I mean, with you being a ref and, you know, reffing in the NBA for so long, have you ever had a moment where it was a, oh my gosh moment? Like, do you get starstruck by seeing some of the players, even though you see them often? Is there one that you saw one time and was like, holy fucking shit, I'm reffing this game. I'm reffing this game with so and so and so.
I think when you first get in the league, there's a little bit of that because I mean, wow, now you're on the court with the best players in the world. So I mean, again, you're human, so you're like, wow, I remember when I first got in the league, it's like, wow, that's Kobe,
Yeah.
But then you got a job to do, so
Yeah,
then you get
yeah.
to doing your job. But I would really say for me, it was a few years ago. We were in Boston during the playoffs, and someone told me, "Hey, Mr. Russell wants to speak to you." And I was like, "Mr. Russell, who?" And she's like, looked at me like I was crazy. She's like, "Bill Russell." I was like,
Get
"Oh
outta
wow!" So I turned, and there he is. He's sitting courtside for this playoff game in Boston, and I got to sit and talk with him for maybe it's literally like a minute. It's not a lot of time, but I was like in awe, like, wow, this is the great Bill Russell right here that I'm having the honor and the privilege of sitting next to and talking to. So for me, that was a moment of like,
Man, that's
wow.
something to process.
Yeah,
So if you ever get next to LeBron, you just be like, my cousin Tiara told me to tell you hi,
Or maybe
and
he'll
that she
listen to
loves
this
you.
podcast and you can just tell him right
Yeah,
There you go.
but if
Yeah.
you ever
How
get
does-
close
yeah.
enough to him, tell him that because he just might get this podcast late.
How did you feel about the Kobe incident? As the whole world was heartbroken behind that.
Oh man, devastating. Just absolute. Like everybody, we get notifications on these things, right? And
Broke my heart, man.
yeah, I was actually just leaving my place and a notification popped on. I just thought it was like a mistake. Like there's no way that could be real. So I actually walked back into my place and turned on like ESPN or something, and there it was. And
Man,
I mean, what can you say?
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
What
it
a
was-
heartbreaking event.
Yeah, man. I refereed his last away game, so he had that last game where he played in LA and he scored 60. We had the game before that when they were in OKC, and it was just to see everybody. Everybody knew this is his last road game, so it was kind of like a farewell tour for Kobe that year.
Yeah.
And just to see the people and them getting an opportunity to see him one last time, and him and Durant, they went at it in that game. They was
Yeah.
like, Kobe was not the guy that you're not taking it easy on me. He was always about giving 100%. So young Durant just kind of went at him and did what he
pretty
did.
dope.
But yeah, it was for him and the other folks, his daughter Gigi and everybody else and their families, man. Just can't imagine.
Yeah. On that note, man, we're going to go off into our story about today's segment, the Tony Brown story, man. Tony Brown, respected veteran NBA referee, was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in April 2021. The NBARA is joining forces with Pancreatic Cancer Action Network, PanCAM. Nearly 61,000 others suspect to be diagnosed this year with pancreatic cancer. So, we just going to give out some well wishes to Tony and his family down in Atlanta and his beautiful wife down there, Tina.
Yep.
We sending our love and our wishes down there to the Brown family. And you can follow this link below on the bottom of your screen to support Tony Brown 6 Strong, y'all. Y'all can go to nbra.net.
yeah.
Go down to the bottom of the screen, donate to research for pancreatic cancer and Tony Brown and his family, man.
Absolutely, man. That would be.
Yeah, that would be
wonderful,
dope, man.
Yeah,
Tony Brown was a great referee, still out here doing this thing. Stay strong, eat well.
Absolutely. Yeah, TB is good people, man. I moved to Atlanta to start refereeing after I graduated, and that was kind of like the mecca of referees. That's where you went if you wanted to learn like how to be a really good referee. So I went down there and I got to know Tony and just so many other people. He is hugely important in my development. So he is really good. He's a good friend, obviously a colleague, but he's fighting. Yeah. And it's been over a year now, and he and Tina and his family, man, just amazing people. So we keep prayed up for him. We keep praying for them. And I always said, if anybody can beat stage 4 pancreatic cancer, it's Tony Brown.
Yeah, Tony Brown.
Yeah, absolutely.
We going for you, Tony. We love you out here on What's the Deal.
Much love.
Prayers to the family. How is it when how do the league go about like from regular season to playoff officials? How do the league go about choosing who do those games? Who call those games?
There's a lot, man. I think what people don't realize besides, referees watching film is referees get graded on everything they do.
Wow.
Every play we call and plays we don't call. Those stats are kept and tabulated throughout the whole season. That's a lot of games and a lot of plays. And then there's different rankings based off of GM ratings, president of the league ratings, our boss ratings, and they compile all that and they put, I think it's the top 32 or 6, I can't remember the number, but that's the list of people that make the playoffs. And then every round that number dwindles down from, I think, 36 to the finals, which is 12. So it's tough to make, it's tough to get in the room. It's tough to be in the playoffs, and it's tough to get to the second round, the third round, and the finals. You just got to constantly show that you are deserving of being one of those selected few.
Yeah.
Who do you think is the most controversial referee?
Who
is the one?
Who you ask. It depends on who you ask. I think that word gets thrown around a lot just because it kind of gets eyeballs and it gets clicks. Controversial play, controversial call. Like the other day, I saw one from the Alabama-Texas game. They have the play in the end zone. Was Bryce Young down? Is it a safety? All of this stuff? And so when you see it on Twitter or whatever, it's like, oh, controversial play. And that gets people like, oh, let me check this out.
Check it out.
Yeah, let me check this out. So
it's usually clickbait.
Yeah, it's clickbait, right? So, as referees, we know that's part of it, but, and it's also, too, like, what's your cup of tea? Some people I get along well with on the floor, and maybe one of my colleagues doesn't. And that's just, that's just people. Yeah, that's type A people, and then there's some people my colleagues get along well with, and I'm like, man, my relationship with that person is not as good.
Right.
But I'm always, and I think I speak for all of us, we're always trying to figure out a way to make the relationship better, right? Because it is an intense, emotional game, and the last thing you need is, constant headbutting out on the floor. You're going to get some of that, but you try to find a way, find some common ground. To figure out how we can get on the same page.
Is it the same with y'all, like the players, when the playoffs become a little bit more intense?
Oh yeah,
like it's definitely a difference from regular season.
Yeah,
you could tell from players.
No doubt. The playoffs is a whole nother level because now you're talking about win or go home.
Right.
And so the intensity kicks up. Coaches shorten their bench, the rotation.
Rosters,
You're down to, during a regular season game, you might have 8, 9, 10 guys playing a game. In playoffs, you're probably going to have it down to like 7, 8, but that's it. And so every possession is more important because you're talking about if you don't win, you're going to be out and you go home. So, the intensity is definitely ratcheted up in the playoffs. And every round, it goes up. It goes up even more. Yeah,
from the fans to everything.
Oh,
it's crazy.
It's incredible. Yeah, it's absolutely incredible.
So you spoke on colleagues, right? And I know the NBA is male sports, and it's usually male-driven. We have male referees. We have male announcers. Well, from in the beginning,
it's a lot of female referees. Now
it is. That's what I'm getting to. Yeah. I want to know if you ever had the chance to work with the first female NBA referee, Violet Palmer.
Yeah. VP. We call it
shout out VP.
Yeah, shout out VP.
I like her here.
Yeah, good VP.
Yeah, that's an icon. She's an icon,
she's
really.
a
She
great-
really is. So VP lives in LA, and she's now she's been doing it for a few years now. She's the director of officials for the Pac-12 out there.
Yeah.
She's got other leagues, so she's in charge of the referees on the women's side out there. So she's a legend. I worked a couple of seasons with her. At my best VP story, like I think I'm in my first or second year. I'm brand new, so we got a game over in Jersey when they were over in Newark, and at the Prudential Center. So it's Danny Crawford is the crew chief, Violet is what we call the referee, and I'm the umpire, which means I'm the young person on the crew. So it's me and Danny in the front of the car, and Violet sitting in the back, and so we're going through security at Prudential to go where the players park and where we park. So we get to the gate, and the security guy looks and he goes, yeah, he said, y'all are good, Danny, but you got to tell your wife she can't come down here. And Danny looked at him, and he goes, well, I want you to tell her that.
Right.
So Violet rolls down the window and is like, hey, I'm Violet Palmer, I'm one of the refs. And his whole face you could just see it. We were dying laughing because we were like, yeah, tell him, VP. But yeah, she was the first.
Do this. Stop playing.
She was the first in a male-dominated, industry. But she was a hell of a basketball player back in her day, and just good people, a great referee, and still to this day the only female to referee the NBA playoffs.
Right,
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah.
And that WNBA's finals is jumping right now, y'all.
Sure is.
Shout out to the Las
The
Vegas
women do their
Aces.
thing now, too.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Women do their thing.
Shout out to
do.
Las Vegas
Shout out who run the
Aces
world.
and the Connecticut Suns. Hey, it's been a thriller. And AJ Wilson went crazy last night. 24 points, 11 rebounds, 4 blocks, man. The WNBA has been turned up. I speak it and I preach it all the time. We need to come out more and support the WNBA with the ticket sales and stuff like that. They got to compete with the NFL they own at the same time my Cowboys on. I don't know what to watch. We're going to get it together. We're going to come out. We're going to support the WNBA more and bring revenue to their business. We love them over at the WNBA. It's been amazing this year. Shout out my team, Chicago Sky. They did a fabulous job in the
Great
playoff
job.
this
Great
year.
season.
Facts, they did.
Keep it going, Candace Parker. You was amazing. We looking forward for you to coming back to the city, baby. Give us another
for sure.
chance.
Yeah, I mean, man, the women don't get the credit that
They
deserve.
don't.
I
They
mean,
really don't.
You watch, I mean, I know they're getting more and more fans, but you ever watch the WNBA game, those ladies can play.
They
I mean,
can.
they are good. I did two seasons in the WNBA, and I mean, they are high-level talent. So, the great Sue Bird just retired this year.
Yeah, shout out Sue Bird.
Shout out Sue Bird, no doubt.
She
Great
balled out.
career.
Great career.
There's just so many great players in the WNBA. When I was there for those two summers, Lisa Leslie, just incredible. Diana Taurasi, just incredible players. Simone Augustus in Minnesota.
BG,
Maya
Brittany
Moore.
Griner,
Maya Moore, yeah.
Brittany,
BG.
BG,
yeah.
Free
Free
BG. She be coming
Definitely
home
free
real
BG.
soon. I got a lot of faith in
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. And, I don't know what will happen this fall, but that's where the women go overseas.
Yeah, they go
So that's
overseas.
where they make the majority of their money.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how many of them want to continue to do that based on the situation that BG's in right now. Because for them, that's huge in supplementing their income.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of them go overseas and do that during the winter months. So, yeah, definitely pray up for BG and her safe return from Russia.
Yeah, man. Shout out BG. And come home soon.
On your downtime, what Memphis rappers? What's some of your favorite Memphis rappers
All right,
that
first
you
of
rock to on your downtime?
First of all, okay, so it says I'm from Memphis. I get that,
Right.
but I grew up I literally was just born there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was born in Memphis, but I come from the country sticks of Arkansas, which is right across that Mississippi River.
Arkansas. My pastor say Arkansas.
That's what
That's
it
how
is.
But Memphis doing their
That's what
thing
it
in the
is.
rap game right now, so that's all I
See,
want to know.
I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, for sure,
couldn't
for
even
sure.
tell you.
Do you
I
listen
know
to rap
Ja know.
often?
I know Ja know.
I
Yeah,
listen
John
to I listen to rap when I'm working out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who
there's
you listen to?
There's a great spot, of course, Gucci.
Okay.
No, but I like Drake.
Okay.
I definitely like Drake. I like Gucci. I like the Baby. Okay, hold on. Let me think about his name because I'll give me the name from Southside.
Chance the Rapper.
Not Chance.
From Chicago.
Kanye.
From Chicago?
From
Dirt?
Chicago.
Dirk.
Lil Durk, shout out
like
Lil
Dirk?
Durk.
Shout out Lil Durk.
Yeah, I like his music.
They help you get pumped
He's
up.
trending
to work out.
today.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
He actually trending today. That's so funny.
Dirk
Oh,
doing
is
his
he?
thing.
Okay.
Dirk, yeah.
Doing
All
his
right.
thing.
Hopefully for something good.
No, it's some gossip stuff. It's some gossip
Gossip
stuff.
stuff. Him and his woman.
Yeah, him and his lady. While we're on the subject, we speaking of rap, we did just get the news that PNB Rock was gunned down. He's also a rapper, very known rapper. PNB Rock was gunned down in a Waffle House earlier. He succumbed to his injuries. Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. I'm sorry, not Waffle House.
In Los Angeles.
But I just got a notification that he succumbed to his injuries. So sending prayers to PNB Rock's family,
Out to the family.
and everybody affected by this loss. That was a huge hit to hip hop.
Oh, wow.
I don't want to make it sad, but I got a question. So you've been reffing for a while, and you see transitions. How do you feel about the transition from playing to refereeing, like Richard Jefferson just did?
Shout out Richard Jefferson, y'all.
Yeah, shout out to RJ,
RJ,
man. That took a lot of guts for him
Everybody
to
in
do
the
that.
NBA name
for real.
is what's
Yeah, they have a little.
yeah,
First and last
BP,
name. Yeah,
RJ,
yeah, yeah.
okay,
yeah,
and I'm on here talking about Richard Jefferson.
That's how the players be referring to each other. So that
RJ,
end up
yeah.
being that be their moniker.
I think for players, that's a line. A lot of them because I always ask players all the time. We out there on the floor and they're complaining about something. I'd be like, it's a hard job, man. You want to join us when you're done?
real.
Right.
And they'll look at me and say, absolutely not. This
Because you see them go to coaching first. Most of them go to coaching
that's more
or
of a natural transition from the floor to being a coach. But yeah,
Or
he gave
announcer.
it a shot. He gave it a shot and did a quarter in summer league. And I did watch that because I thought that was going to be must see TV to see how RJ did, and he didn't do bad. It doesn't necessarily translate. Just being a player translates to being a good referee or just refereeing, like you know how to do it, because the two are so different.
I'm sure.
But I shout out to him for giving it a try because most players they would never, they don't want to put on that jersey and they just.
He did a hell of a job on ESPN too, commentating. I used to enjoy watching Richard Jefferson.
Yeah, he does a good job.
He does a great job.
Yeah, he's with Ryan Ruocco a lot, and those two are a great team, and they do a good job. They just talk about the product on the floor, which is the game. Yeah.
I like that he's doing that, man. I think a lot of players that's like, even the ones that maybe didn't have the best NBA careers and don't really, sometimes you get so wrapped in that, they figure, they don't really think about life after basketball.
Right,
And that'd
yeah.
be so short.
Right.
And I always would think you should stay next to the game, something that you spend so much time doing, so
Absolutely.
much doing. And I look at a lot of players like, it's nothing wrong with that.
Man, you
know
see
what I
it
mean?
now. I mean, there are so many. I mean, today there's so many opportunities for these players when they leave, which is a good thing. You got people on ESPN and
Right.
and you said calling games. You got people with podcasts.
Yeah, for sure.
And obviously coaching and all that. So there's or front office. So there's many avenues they can go.
Yeah.
That keeps them involved in the game because you can't play forever.
No, you can't. And it'd be real short. When you look up, you'll be like, damn, so-and-so played 10 years, and that was
it goes
was
fast.
over with.
It
You know what I'm
goes-
saying? I had a friend, I ain't gonna say his name, but we was close. And I looked up, and he had a good career. He not playing no more. And I was like, damn, I ain't even get to one of his games. Like, I ain't even get a ticket from him. You know what I'm saying? And not that it was like purposely,
Right.
but just like the career just went.
It goes
the time
fast,
went
man.
that fast,
fast.
man.
Time goes
Same with
fast.
NFL. The NFL even shorter and harder.
Yeah, for real. Because there's so many people that's trying to
Yeah,
get in
man.
there. And
Those
basketball
NFL
hard,
players.
man.
Yeah, but
400 people in the
it's
world that had that
450.
job.
Yeah.
And that's tough, man.
Yeah, it's a
that's tough, man.
Small number. Small number.
It's a small
So-
number.
We're going to roll off into a little break. But on this break, we're going to dedicate this segment. Today, we're going to be honoring and celebrating the life of the late Hugh Evans, a father, husband, remarkable referee, and a dear friend who was loved by so many, who will be inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame this year, leaving behind a legacy that will last forever. Long live Hugh. We going off into our break at What's the Deal, y'all?
Podcast.
Welcome back, y'all. We back in the building. We rocking out as usual. Y'all know how we coming, man. Y'all welcome back to What's the Deal. My cousin Tierra, my favorite road dog Bugatti is in the building, y'all. We on What's the Deal with James Williams, better known as Gucci. Goo-wop.
Hey, cousins.
Go up in the building.
Yeah, man. How y'all doing? We
I'm
back.
good, man. I'm great.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming out again, man. We're going to get right back into it, man, with our mental health issues that we've been having around in sports lately, man. And we've been wondering, what the NFL, what the MLB, what the NBA is they implement any programs for players, referees, coaches, and family. Not just them. Well, family also can have mental issues dealing with fame, sports, money, and stuff like that, man.
It's tough.
Yeah, man. What's your intake on that mental health that's going on in not just NBA, but with all sports?
Absolutely. I think it's first of all, it's a big deal, especially coming out of COVID. 2 years, mental health is a big thing for everybody.
Yes, man.
I think for players, it's even harder because you're in the spotlight, and there's a certain image you have to portray. That you're big and strong, and you don't have feelings, and you don't get hurt, or you're not in a lull, or you're not going through something. Well, we all go through something. And so I know the NBA has been really good. The NBA, the NBRA, the NBPA, the Players Association, with hooking people up with professionals.
Yeah.
Because first of all, most people, if you have something going on in your life, nobody knows about it. It's not going viral. It's not something that everybody on both coasts know about. It's just you're dealing with that internally with your family, friends, or what have you. When your job is to be on stage and when the bright light's on, it's difficult because life happens and you have a lot going on, and you're expected to perform at a high level all the time. That's tough, man. And so even for referees, no referee wants to go viral for the wrong reasons. Like you make a call at the end of a game, or you don't make a call at the end of a game, and it ends up impacting the game, or you do something that just gets blown up on 24-hour talk radio, social media.
And that's how it happens too.
That's exactly
they just
how
keep
it
it going.
happens. Yeah, and so as a referee, you're human. You got a phone. Some people have social media. You see that stuff and things like that, and it can play on you, and it can really mess up your confidence and things like that. So I know for our union, and I can speak to that we have, especially starting after COVID, when we went to that bubble in Orlando, that was mentally exhausting. Most people probably wouldn't say that, but that was absolutely mentally exhausting. You were at a place that you couldn't leave, and some people were there for like 90-some days, players and coaches that made it to the finals that year, the Lakers, the Heat, then you got the refs who made it to the finals. So they were literally there for 90-some days. And I think for myself personally, after that first month,
I was over it.
I was going through some stuff. It was just like this, you could tell that it messes with your mind being in there. I know for fans they got to see the games. Nothing else was on TV because everybody's locked down. So here we go. We got games going on now. But I think you saw that happen with the Bucks when they said we're not playing. We're human.
Yeah.
And I think especially as black people, and more specifically black men, we think that's a sign of weakness to speak with someone and say, you're going through something and you need some help. That's not in our culture. That's not how we're taught. And
It's not popular either.
Yeah, it's not popular. So it's a sign of weakness in how we see it, but it's actually a sign of strength.
Right.
Because it takes a lot to be able to admit you're going through something and you need some help. But everybody goes through something. We have to make it so that it's not a stigma attached to it.
Right.
We have to make it so that if you're going through something, you should feel comfortable being able to seek help or a loved one or a friend and reach out and have that person not ridicule you and make fun of you because this nigga going to do something, whatever.
Right,
That's not the way it works. Right. So yeah, it's definitely a big part of it. And when you're on that stage, man, people go throw daggers at you. Most people that have never played in the NFL or the NBA or never refereed in the NFL or the NBA, and that's just part of the nature of it. But it's just a certain part of it. It's just a part of what you have to overcome. You do have to be mentally strong, but no one's that mentally strong.
I shout out the guys who came out, like DeMar DeRozan, I believe, Kevin Love. A few cats came out, and they admitted it. Yeah. And sometimes as fans, we get so wrapped up into, they art and how good of players they are,
right.
And you think, oh, you rich, what you really worried about?
Yeah.
But that make
what did they come out and admit?
Well, they admitted they had mental health issues. Like they were struggling with it.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
that's big because of the platform they have, right? You know, they have a lot. And you think about someone like DeMar, right? Because DeMar comes from Compton,
Hard
and so
life, yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So for someone who he's to come from that part of California, as a black man who's willing to admit, I have some struggles and things like that. That's big. So shout out to him for doing that,
man,
because
shout out DeMar.
you let other young black men and women and others know this is okay.
This is okay.
It's all right to be going through something, and it's okay when you're not okay.
Right.
And ask for help.
And he
So,
wasn't even playing bad. He
Nah.
was just like, man, it's just weighing.
It's a
on me,
lot.
man.
It's a lot, man.
I got shit on my mind.
Yeah.
So if y'all know y'all can call up here to What's the Deal and holler at me, because I can give y'all some counseling. It might not be the way now when I say it, you might not like my delivery, but I'm gonna tell you some shit, and I'm gonna listen to you, and you can cry on my shoulder because I'm very,
Delonte
very
West was
very,
definitely going through something.
Yeah.
He could have talked to you.
yeah, definitely.
Delonte West, shout out to Delonte West out there. Keep your head up.
Absolutely, man.
And he was doing some stuff with the Big Three over the summer, and he trying to get back. It's a fight. It's a daily struggle, day at a time. Delonte West, we cheering for you just to get better.
Yep.
You
We
were able to work
understand.
personally with him before, correct?
I'm
No.
trying to remember when was. I don't
What
know.
team did he play on?
Delonte
He's been
was
in there
kind of
13
around.
years. See, that's what I'm saying. How
trying to-
fast it can
It
go.
can, yeah, because that.
I'm
And
trying
he
to
played
think
at a
if he
high
was-
level
yeah,
too.
Delonte was a good
He was
guard.
around the Cavs days at his best.
Oh yeah, with
LeBron.
LeBron.
With LeBron and
And he
Right.
had some good days in Boston, I remember.
Yeah, great
You know
days in
what I'm
Boston.
saying?
It was
I
the last
remember
team
those.
he was with.
So
no,
you've
with
been
the
in
Mavs.
13 already.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's one thing, I always, I kind of remind people is just because they're on a stage and they're performing and they're, high level athletes, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know what's going on at home. You don't know what they're going through. And they still have to put on this face
Persona, yeah.
and go out and do their job in front of the
Damn.
world. That's not easy.
No, it's not easy.
And you talking about that also, Osaka. She's been her and Simone Biles. Shout out
Yeah.
to them too.
Yeah. Shout out
right.
Simone Biles.
Yeah.
Because they
Athletes
spoke on
really
it.
go through it. Yes,
Yeah,
they
they
do.
spoke on
It's
it.
tough.
Man, it's hard.
Because
It
what
really
about how you be
is.
feeling when they're like the fans and the player interactions when it be bad?
with the flip?
Like the fans and the players. Like I done seen Russell Westbrook just get. Like I'm finna go in there right
I'm
now. I
finna
done just
snap.
seen it. Like damn, what did they?
Be ready to
actually
whoop some
say?
ass.
You
Facts.
know what did they actually say to him?
Because one of the great
And the
things about
Malice in the
NBA.
Palace.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
It's tough, right?
Well, one of the great things about the NBA basketball is the fans are right there, right? If you sit in courtside, you literally as close to the action as I am to
Step
you.
on your foot.
Yeah, and
You know what
so
I'm saying?
you hear some of the things that these people say, and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
You would never. I cannot imagine they walk into somebody's job or place of employment and they would say that. But as a fan, they feel like they can do that
I
because they
feel
bought
like
a
the
ticket.
craziest fans are
But I try
NBA
to-
fans.
yeah.
Facts. I'm the craziest
And
one.
imagine that being you being a mother. Imagine that being your child there, and this person sitting next to you.
Yeah,
I'm hitting a
it's
motherfucker with a
tough.
chair. I'm gonna hit you with a
I
chair. Don't
love
say nothing
KD
about my
mom.
baby.
I love KD mom so
LeBron
much.
Yeah.
mom.
And
LeBron
LeBron
mom.
mom.
Remember
They're
LeBron had
so
to tell his mom,
supportive. Especially
"Sit your ass
KD
down."
mom.
Nah,
She's
KD mom,
always
she with it.
front and center.
Back in the day,
yeah.
Iverson mama was
Yeah,
was
for
number
sure.
one NBA mama. Don't play with my boy. See, I'm glad. I'm glad I had a daughter.
You try to remind the players, like when something is getting ready to go down, I just try to remind them all the times. Listen,
Somebody's mom was just attacked too, right?
oh, an NBA player. was
Yeah.
it? Oh wow.
His mom was hit, and then
Was
I
that
can't
Chris
remember.
Paul?
Chris Paul.
Yeah,
Chris
yeah,
Paul's
yeah, yeah,
wife.
Chris Paul wife. I'm
Chris
sorry.
Paul's wife was verbally
Verbally.
Yeah.
harassed
Actually,
by a player.
Yeah, we were actually doing that game. They were in that was whatever game number it was, but that was in the Dallas.
That was a
series.
playoff, right?
Yeah,
Dallas
in
series.
Dallas, and I just remember during a timeout looking up, and there was kind of some commotion behind the Suns bench, and you just see security and people getting whisked off, and you're like, you have no
And
idea
him
what's
running
going
towards
on.
them.
Yeah,
Because he's ready to
it's,
kick some.
It's a problem. I'm sure the league does what they can. Those are obviously some very expensive seats, and you don't want to take that away, and you don't want a few bad apples to distract from other people in the games. But I just try to remind players when stuff is getting ready to go down, you got a lot more to lose than they do. A lot of them looking for that 15 minutes of fame. They're looking to go viral by making a name off of you.
Yeah.
So-
Looking for a quick come up too.
Yeah, so
He hit
just-
me.
Yeah, try not to. You got to be like a ref in that moment. You just got to kind of let it go in one ear and out the other. And if it gets to the point where it crosses a line, you're verbally abusing someone, you're using some language that nobody should use for anyone. Then there's protocol for that. You can get security involved, and if necessary, they can have that fan removed. But when a fan crosses the line, or when a player crosses the line, then it's hard to protect the player. Then he gets in trouble and fined or suspended or whatever, depending on how bad it is. So it's just something, man. You want to keep your money in your pocket.
Right.
You don't want to give them any kind of oxygen. You don't want that to breathe. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
We talking about player and audience confrontation. What about that player, athlete, and referee confrontation? Like, you ever ejected somebody and they was ready to whoop your ass? Like, I know this motherfucker didn't just. What? That's a bullshit call, Gucci. Like, you don't have to say no names, but I really want to know. Like, you ever bumped heads with any of the athletes because of a call you made?
It's a very emotional game.
Mellow Ball. I remember when Mellow Ball came to the whole kind of aggressive and he had to push your hand down a little bit. I remember that.
I'm telling you, it's a bunch of type A personalities out there who are very competitive, and so absolutely there are moments where you're bumping heads, and that's again you try to let cooler heads prevail and move on if you can get on to the next play. That's part of being a referee, especially in the NBA. It's a lot of it is about conflict resolution. Yeah, you really are trying to You're trying to get situations under control. You're not trying to let them, grow into this massive fire that blows up everything.
You are such a professional.
I'm
I'm telling you, that's a big shout out. Shout out to referees everywhere. Where's my camera? Referees everywhere, because that takes a certain level of skill that a lot of us don't possess. We be so ready to snap out and get ignorant, because I know I would. I commend you for that, like for real, because
Absolutely.
first of
The
all,
guardians of the game.
I'm King Kong around this mother. No, let me stop.
But you know what's crazy?
You playing? I'm making these calls.
Like, players know that in a sense. Like, that's why a lot of refs, when I see officials, I be like, they real confident. Yeah. Because they kind of control it.
Yeah.
In a sense. Like, it's certain calls, and it could be the right call, and that could just take the wind out of a team and change the whole perspective.
it's,
or some players can't get past the call.
I mean,
I wish that I got to do a poll online. I'm going to ask, who is the most hated referee? I got to ask, because I see, that's what I get a kick out of watching sports. Like, I'm not big on sports. I know a little bit. But, like, when it's time for the beef, I be all into it. Like, that's my reality TV. Like, is they finna fight? What, did he kick a field goal? And they like, baby, this is basketball. This is basketball. They don't kick field goals and home runs in basketball. But, yeah, I need to know that. Who is the most controversial, most hated referee? I know it's not you. You seem real chill.
Yeah,
like
you can tell it.
Yeah, people love Gucci.
Everybody love Gucci.
I'm telling people, Gucci is my cousin. NBA Gucci is my cousin. Can I get you to say, hey, cousin? Look at your camera and say, hey, cousins.
Hey, cousins.
Period.
I know I love them.
Hey, cousins. That's dope. That's dope.
Do you ever do you hoop yourself sometime?
Oh, man.
Great
First of all,
question.
I'm 43 years old.
Really? You look like it.
Yeah. So
Dang.
and hooping, nah.
That ain't your thing.
That is not my thing. I played a little baseball back in the day, a long time ago.
Yeah.
We heard you got a fastball on you.
Yeah, I was a pitcher, but those days are over. I mean, I love sports.
Yeah.
Like today, nowadays, I do more like I try to work on my golf game.
Okay.
So
Chill.
Some chill, low key.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna hurt the back too much.
How do you
Yeah,
stay?
old nigga sports.
How do you stay in shape and prepare for the
Old nigga sports.
for such a long season? How do you stay in shape? Like, do you do running or do you just weights or cardio? What you do?
Yeah, you
What's the
definitely
best?
have
I know
to
you got
do,
to eat well.
You got to eat well, and we eat late. You know,
Yeah.
in the season because games are late and you don't get back until 10:30, 11 from time. So, but yeah, you have to really watch your diet. You got to do something though, because for the NBA we get 3 weight checks a year. So you got to be in shape. You got to do your job. That's part of it, because it's such a fast-paced game, and you got to be conditioned enough to be able to get up and down that floor for 48 minutes. Most people don't know, like an NBA referee on an average night runs about 4 miles. Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Back
so
and
it's
forth.
a lot of running.
It's a lot of running.
It's a lot of running. So I really try to focus more on that type of conditioning, flexibility, things like that, so that you don't want to be like too big out there. That's a lot of weight to have to carry.
Yeah.
Hey man, the league, y'all got to get them a plane, man. Y'all tripping. For real.
Facts. I
They
agree.
got all them
very
games.
hard.
They work hard. They go through injury.
Very hard.
What we got to do? Cause we got to go to the union, man. We got to do a petition. LeBron,
I'm all about that.
Giannis.
See if the commissioner's listening to this.
All y'all $300 million man, Steph
Tune
Curry.
in. What's the
Y'all
deal?
going about these guys are playing, man.
Tune in to What's the Deal, Adam Silver, and check us out. We trying to get these referees up there. Check
playing,
in.
man.
We need they are playing better amenities for our referees. And I want to thank you again for coming out to What's the Deal show. And y'all follow the link below on the bottom of the screen. Continued support for Tony Brown,
Yes.
TB Strong, 6 Strong. Y'all go down there, man. Y'all download, support my boy TB, man. We love you and your family, man. And thank you for coming out to What's the Deal, man. We love you up here.
And y'all make sure y'all follow NBA
Much
Gucci.
love.
You got any social media play? You ain't got.
Do those social media
Yeah, you run it.
pages.
Yeah, we'll talk about
Yeah,
it.
but
I
y'all
told you,
look
man, it's
for
like a politician.
You can find them at your Liv's best game.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
At the All-Star, the finals.
The finals.
He's killing it.
Yeah.
Look
Hey,
for him, NBA Gucci.
He getting
Y'all
them
know
checks.
who he is.
You better know it.
Only on What's the Deal, y'all.
Hey,
We
and he
the
got
scoop.
on Gucci too.
Yeah.
We're gonna put that on the drip cam. That
drip
go on the drip
cam.
cam right there.
Damn.
That go on the drip cam right there. You feel me?
Signing out, y'all. What's the Deal? One love.
See you later, cousins.
100.
Appreciate you.
Peace.
Gucci.